It works.
Are we live?
We're live.
Is this thing on? Hey, so it's crazy storming here, and we haven't had internet all day.
And so we're on 5G, and hopefully this continues to work because it seems to be working right now. But we forgot our champagne because we've been scrambling.
No.
So I'll go get it.
We gotta get our champagne. Thank you. I just all day we're like, are we gonna make it? Are we actually gonna make it on? Because literally at one point, it was so loud. I jumped out of my chair. I knocked everything over, and all the lights went out, and I swear something blew up. But everything looks okay in here, so I don't know.
Which explains that the internet might not be working. Something blew up, so
we've been getting it off and on. So if we haven't responded to your email yet, forgive us.
we didn't get it. Maybe we will now. So
All right,
cheers.
Cheers to a stormy day in Austin. Hopefully wherever you're at, it's maybe sunshine, maybe pretty, but hey, you know what? We needed the rain.
We did.
So it's hard to complain, but you know, storms can be a little creepy.
We're supposed to get 8 to 12 inches today.
That's my word.
So it's
Luckily you're not
it's a
Denver.
lot.
It's snowing in Denver.
It's
Remember?
snowing. My friend Mark said the other day, I think it was
Crazy.
2 days ago, he said it's 91 and today, and it's also going to be 31
And it
today.
really happened, and it's
So,
snowing.
bless your hearts in
bananas.
Denver. Wow,
Yeah.
that's quite the change.
But I'm
From
kind
like
of
tank top to
jealous.
parka,
Tank top to parka,
snow,
but
snow bunny hat.
yes, no, like we're know what you mean. I'm just dying right now to just cuddle up with a furry blanket and sit in front of a fire. But it's still hot here, so
Still hot.
It's like 80. Anyways, we're getting way off track here.
We are.
That's okay.
We're on the weather, but back to makeup. We have champagne pool back in stock. Those of you who've been asking for the
Thank God.
lip lick, champagne pool's back.
Really pretty. She's modeling it.
I have it on, so if y'all been waiting, it's back. What else?
And the way Ginger's wearing it is a little diffused. So she puts
Great.
it on and then she dabs to give it.
Dab, dab.
It's kind of it's like a brighter, pretty pink, and it can look a little scary at first if you just see it in the bottle. But this is a really beautiful
And if
way
you
to
just
wear it.
Layer it on, you might be like, oh my. So dabbing is
Dab, 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 dab. It gives
There's
you-
an extra hack. We didn't even plan to share that hack. We
Yeah.
actually have Lacey here today. We're super
Yes,
excited.
Lacey.
I can hear somebody in the
Here's
background
Lacey.
cackling away and
Woo,
laughing.
Lacey.
There you go.
And Lacey's here to show you all the concealer hacks.
That's right.
So
Really fun.
So we've got our top 6 concealer hacks by Lacey. A little background on her.
I'll let you take it away.
I've had the pleasure of working with Lacey for over 10 years, and I adore her. I'm so happy she's here. She has taught me so much. I know if y'all caught her last tutorial, we all learned some tips and tricks from her.
My crazy mask tutorial.
It was great.
Yeah.
And if you didn't catch it, it's on YouTube. You need to check it out. Ginger and I are both doing some of her tricks, and we've talked to a lot of y'all, and I know y'all are using those too. So it's nice to have a different pro in. I'm really happy to have her here. And then aside from working with me for 10 years and Elevé for 5, she has over 20 years experience
That's
in
how old
the
I
beauty
am.
world.
Ah, cheers. Cheers to makeup. To make us look
And you
young.
can't even tell.
And a little bit of Botox. I'll be honest, people. You gotta do it. Yeah.
She looks,
I have no
she looks
shame.
beautiful, young, and I know right now we all need some concealer
We
tricks.
do.
So I'm
It's
gonna
a
let
lot.
Lacey
Because I really don't have any on right now. So I was like, oh,
take
Lord,
it over.
look at my face.
You look beautiful.
All right, everybody. So I've got 6 hacks for you guys today. I don't even know if hack is the right word. That's kind of the cool word that the young kids use, but I'm gonna call it hack. Like I said, I've been doing makeup for over 20 years, and so learned a few things along the way. So first and foremost, my first hack, number 1, is, I don't know if y'all do this, but don't put concealer on first. Some people go straight for the concealer, like you have no makeup on, you just put on your skincare, and then you put your concealer on. You don't need to do that. I love my Bombshell. It's amazing. It's the best product. I know Gertie's talked a lot about this. Sometimes, depending on the day, depending on how much sleep you've had, allergies, if you drank a little bit the night before, I didn't say that, you might not need a lot of concealer. So it depends. It also depends if you have a tan. So put your put your foundation on first, okay? Now, if I was doing a makeup application, it would be different, but we're not talking about a professional application. We're talking about you at home doing your own makeup. So number one, put your foundation on first. Do it all over your face, do a little bit under your eyes. Sometimes you might find out that maybe you don't need as much concealer as you thought. So that's number one, okay? If you weren't doing that, I want you to do that. Hack number two is, I'm gonna show you the right way to do it and the wrong way to do it. So I think we've always been taught, put concealer, I'm gonna touch this under my eyes, you know, go ahead and put it right under your eye, right, like that. And you're like, oh, I got my concealer on, I'm gonna press it in. I like to use a beauty blender. You can use your finger, you can use a sponge, it doesn't matter. But I'm gonna show you something, and you're all gonna notice I'm blending it. Now, obviously I chose my color. Sometimes when you just do concealer like that, I do look more awake, but what it can do is it actually can accentuate any bags, and it can also accentuate any like hollowing out under the eyes. How you want to really do your concealer is, instead of doing it like that, which does look fine, okay, I think I look better, but the right way to do it is take your product, you can actually just use your wand. You actually want to make a V like this. You all can see that, right? And do a little bit right there. And then I'm going to take my beauty blender, or you can use your finger or a brush, whatever works best for you. When I'm lazy, I use my finger. I feel like using a beauty blender today. That's what I'm going to do. But when you use your beauty blender, you can actually do a lot more blending. What you're gonna see is when you do a triangle, you guys, you're adding light to the face in areas where it's gonna reflect. And let me tell you something right now. We are all in the world where we're doing Zoom calls every day, right? I know most of us are. Even if you're a teacher, you're a student, if you're working, we're doing more Zoom calls than ever. So this is also gonna help look better kind of on camera. You can kind of already tell that when I'm blending it, the way that the lightness reflects off the cheek, it looks a lot more natural, okay? Here is almost like a raccoon eye situation. I know it doesn't look that bad, but this just looks a lot softer. I have to admit, I have a really cute dog, and he loves to pat me in the face, and he like gave me a black eye this week, so I'm gonna add a little bit more like right there, because yes, I'm recovering from a doggy black eye. We all have, it's a good black eye to get, right? Gertie's laughing at me. So yes, I was like, well, that's not gonna work, but doing that triangle, it's just gonna look a lot more natural, and it's gonna add some brightness like right in this area, okay? Now, it might take some time to kind of learn how to do that, but actually you guys just draw the triangle, blot it in, press it in, and I think that looks a lot better than kind of that side. You actually can tell quite a bit. You can kind of see the darkness in here still, because what's happening is the lightness right here, it's reflecting. So this looks a lot smoother, doesn't it, Gertie? It really does. Okay, so yeah. Triangle. We can do another tutorial on how to perfect that, but I'm gonna tell you triangle versus just applying it. The next hack that I wanna tell you guys is, and I already have a little eyeshadow on because I already got ready this morning, is, but use your concealer on your eyelids. I probably wear eyeshadow one day a week. Why? Eyeshadow is the one thing that's fun, but it doesn't make you look more awake. Concealer makes you look more awake, okay? So I use eyeshadow, and we love the Elevé eyeshadow, or the concealer. It's phenomenal. And so you want to use that. I use that sometimes just all over my lid, just as kind of like an eyeshadow itself. But also what it's going to do is, I did do some eyeshadow today. It's gonna act also as an eyeshadow primer, okay? So when you're doing your makeup, put on your foundation, add a little bit of concealer under your eyes. You don't have to jump into the eyeshadow, but if you are, you wanna put this on first, okay? The third tip that I have is probably one of my biggest issues. Now, I'm in my 40s, but it doesn't matter even if you're 20. So let's say you're at work all day, or you're with the kids, or whatever you're doing, and you need to refresh your concealer, right, Gertie? We love to refresh. You know, you don't want to just pack concealer on top of concealer, because then it can look cakey. Regardless of your age, regardless of your skin tone, your skin type, you want to use something that's going to kind of plump and hydrate. Gertie, Come over here, my friend.
I love.
I'm making her come over here.
Yeah, I can't.
She's
I
a
can't
better salesperson
I
than I
can't live
am.
without it.
So I'm gonna use it.
love
Tell
it.
me why you love
Yeah.
this so much.
Well, I mean, I know y'all hear me talk about.
I'm gonna plump it up while she tells
the
you
eye
all
cream
about
a
it.
lot, but one of Ginger and I's favorite tricks is to put this in the refrigerator.
Oh yeah.
Because what it's gonna do
I didn't
is
even know that.
not only is it gonna depuff, but having it be cold,
Right.
it like extra amplifies the depuffiness. So
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna brighten, depuff, and just make everything else go on smoother. But I mean, you can see too. Even I do sometimes reapply this throughout the day,
Well, and you
especially if
can
I
even
see
just-
the little eye refresh.
And like even
which is why
so,
love
I know I just put concealer on, so I wouldn't
Yeah.
apply more. But what I find often
really
is that when you put that on over your concealer, it almost like reactivates your concealer, so you
Yeah.
almost don't need any more. Let it kind of set for a minute, and then tap and press it in. It's gonna plump under the eye area. If you do want to add more product, you've got a nice hydrated base, and that goes into my 5th hack tip: is press, 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 ladies. So. Concealer, it's a big thing. I've done this since I was probably, I think I remember working, well, we won't go there, at a job in my early 20s. I remember being in my back office and I looked at my 20-year-old pretty face with no wrinkles, right? Looking at myself and thinking like my concealer looks cakey. I mean, God knows what I think now because I'm like mid-40s. So you want to press, you know, you can't just put a product on and then just leave it. So if you want to press with a beauty blender, great. If you want to press with your finger, great. Don't press with a blush or with a brush.
Yeah.
What you want to do is you want to put your product on, but like I just did now, it's really all about patting and patting with your ring finger. That's the finger you want to use to press, okay? And you really want to pat, 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 pat. You can never really pat too much. Another thing that patting and pressing does is a interesting little trick. It actually creates like circulation under the eye area, creates like blood flow. So it's kind of like, remember in the olden days when your grandma said, pinch your cheeks to make them look red for blush? That's a thing, everybody, in case you didn't know. Under the eye area as well, pressing, tapping as well.
Why do you recommend the ring finger? Because I've read a few different things
Well, I'm
about
gonna tell
how
you,
it's the
because the ring finger is, you don't use this finger. We use these
like a
fingers
good-
like
yeah.
all the time, okay?
Yeah.
So number one, these fingers are dirtier. Number two, this is gonna be a lot smoother because you don't use it as much. So it's gonna be
Right.
it almost is like a
Yeah.
little beauty blender in itself, okay? So the ring finger works a little bit better.
It looks
fi-
really pretty.
It does. It looks a lot brighter. So, but you can never press too much. And the other thing with the pressing is, I think we're always afraid to add makeup, right, Gertie? I feel like we never want to go too much. If you I have dark circles. I think you guys could see that in the beginning of this. There was quite a few. You almost have to put more product on, almost to the point where you're like, that might be too much. You put it on, you let it set, okay? So that is hack number 6. 6. I'm like backwards. Clearly I need to go back to school. And I'm Zooming my kids, so teacher here is not good. Put a lot of product on. You put it, when I'm doing a makeup application like on a bride, I put so much concealer on her and then I let her sit, I finish the rest of her face, and then I go back to that concealer. Why? Your skin is gonna absorb the product. This is an amazing product that has a lot of skincare properties. It's gonna hydrate, it's gonna be a treatment as well. So your skin is gonna kind of pull in some of that moisture and kind of, it's gonna accept some of that product, right? So let it do its thing and then kind of press it out again. Again, ring finger. If you're too lazy, use your middle finger. Try not to use your pointer finger. It's too big. We use it too often. It's just this is the best to use. If you can use a beauty blender, they really are phenomenal. But let that concealer sit and then you can press it out. The biggest thing I find with people, women, myself, even myself when I'm doing makeup, I don't put enough on. I'm like, I just do like a little bit and then I pat it and then I put some blush on and then I like get in the car on the off chance I went somewhere fun right now, which I don't. Or maybe I look at myself on the Zoom call and I'm like waving to the teacher and I look at myself thinking like, I actually did my makeup but I don't look like I did. Spend just a little bit more time putting on more product. Don't be afraid. It's okay to look a little crazy with your concealer at first.
Yeah.
But by the time you're done maybe brushing your teeth or messing with your hair or whatever, when you go look at your face, you'll say, oh my gosh, I do look a little bit better. And if you just do the little press out, you're good, you're golden. Golden. The last thing I want to say, my little hack is, let's not forget about our body. So I was really excited today because it was kind of fallish that I didn't have to wear a tank top and show my like sunburn, weird skin. I was on a boat this weekend. I have bruises everywhere. You always want to remember too, if y'all have any like acne scars or blemishes, like on your arms, on your neck, on your chin, even on your legs, use your concealer on your body. I mean, I won't show you my legs right now, but let me tell you, like mosquitoes love me, and I swear my skin looks not very good on my legs right now from all the mosquito bites and kind of the sun and the dryness. So don't forget, it's okay to put concealer like all over your body. If you have like I've got cats too, I've got a little cat scratch right there, dab it right there. But more importantly, I want you to look at like your décolleté area. We spend so much time on our face, making sure that our face looks good. We forget that, our neck and our décolleté is really an extension of your face. So if you have any blemishes or anything, feel free to just like dab a little bit of concealer, on an area. I remember I had a little mosquito bite. I don't know if you can see it, kind of like right in there. But it's really just like a little quick, just dot it and blend it in real fast. It doesn't have to be the big, work you do under the eye area. Just because if your face is going to be smoothed out and perfect, you want to make sure that your neck and your décolleté match. So we're going to go ahead and review my hacks. Foundation first, right? Because you might not need all the concealer. Okay. Number 2, we are going to apply a triangle under the eye, right? Not just going right underneath. And why are we doing that? Because the light's going to reflect off the cheekbone, and it's going to help distract from any dog injuries too. Just kidding. When you're doing your eyeshadow, wear concealer under your eyeshadow. It acts as a base, it brightens the color, it makes it easier to blend. But also, if you don't wear eyeshadow, don't forget, put concealer on your eyelids every day. I would say most days of the week, like I said, I wear eyeshadow maybe one day a week, maybe. But I wear concealer and mascara and I'm good to go. It's gonna clean the eyelid, it's gonna brighten it up. Next, press, press, press. Remember, put a lot of product on. Let it sit, let it absorb, and then you really want to press that concealer into the skin. And then my most favorite thing is, well, not quite last, is when you're reapplying concealer, you want to use an amazing product. The Eye Illuminate is going to plump and brighten. It's going to act as it kind of enhances the concealer you already have. You don't want to layer concealer. Like the 10 a.m. concealer meets the 5 p.m. concealer. They are not friends. They're gonna clash. So you wanna use this before if you're gonna reapply. And then last but not least, like I just did, don't forget your décolleté in your arms and your legs, everything else. You wanna make sure that you don't forget. So hope you all learned a little something fun.
I'm ready for some more concealer now.
Right, I know. I was like, ooh. I can still see the dog injury. It's okay.
You look beautiful.
It's
so
cute.
these
I need
tips
a little
are
brightening.
so this is such a good refresh, and I love these tips and tricks. These are, like you were saying, great for video, and especially if you're gonna have to just hop on a Zoom with your teacher or your
hop on a Zoom, make a quick little triangle under your eye and press it out really quickly, and like you're fine. Like you wouldn't even need to put on lipstick. Literally, if you just add a little concealer, you will look so much better on your Zoom call.
Yes.
You don't even need to do your. I mean, I say please do your lips and your blush, but if you're like in a hurry or I don't know, you're just not into that. I mean, I swear, just dab a little brightness under the eye, you'll look.
These are wonderful.
Wonderful.
Yay.
Thank you, Lacey.
Thank you so
We'll
much.
do a
Thank
cheers.
you for being here.
Cheers.
We love having her on as our guest host.
Thank
and
you.
hopefully, y'all can have a couple little takeaways from this and try some new, fresh things tomorrow.
It's so fun to hear different perspectives and different tips and try them out.
Yes.
And
But like I think too, some people put on their concealer first, right?
Oh yeah.
Like you go for it, and it's like I find some days that if I just put this on, I don't really need concealer. Or depending on what I'm doing, if I don't have a Zoom call or whatever, I feel like I look pretty without it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so we have, if we didn't get to your question, we will circle back to it.
Shall I try to see
we
if
will.
I can see
Yeah,
one?
but I know, earrings.
Yep, that's right.
Thank you so much.
Look at Gertie's earrings.
I know.
Yes.
I'm actually wearing a bright color. White and black on the bottom, but I've got, a nice little pop here.
And,
so.
and those are Noonday.
Yeah, these are
Noonday
Thank
collection.
you. These
Marlin
are Noonday
Sweat.
collection, Marlon.
Gertie always has the
I
best
love these.
earrings.
I absolutely love them.
Yeah.
So it's fun, fall. This is the perfect time to refresh, revamp, kind of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Hi, Lauren. She's watching.
Hi. Yeah, Lauren's another one of our fabulous fabulous Elevé artist.
She's my favorite human.
And if we missed your question, we'll circle back.
Yeah, we'll circle back.
Or send us a DM if you need help with color matching or anything like that.
Yes, but if all else
You do
fails,
it.
this and this.
I
You're my best friends.
concealer.
Illuminate
Are
and
your
I know, they're
friends.
like in front of my face. These are your friends.
Love
Easy
it.
peasy.
Cheers,
All right, well, I hope y'all
guys.
have a
Cheers.
wonderful rest of the week. Hopefully everyone's
Stay safe and dry.
Yeah, safe.
And if you're
dry,
headed to Colorado,
sunny,
bring
warm.
your Uggs.
Bring your Uggs.
All right. Bye, beauty bugs.
Bye.